Well, tomorrow marks 1 year since a tragedy so many of us will never forget, the deadly District Dogs flood in Northeast D.C. You remember this, 10 dogs drowned inside this location on Rhode Island Avenue. Most of them were trapped inside of cages with no chance to escape as the water just continued to rise. And by the time their owners arrived at the scene, it was too late. Mona was one of the dogs who died that day. She just turned 1 year old. And tonight we're hearing from her owner. She tells our Leslie Moreno she still doesn't have a clear answer about what happened right before Mona's death.
Not a day goes by that Jocelyn doesn't think of Mona and how helpless she must have felt as she drowned trapped inside her kennel.
Just the overall guilt of it, of not being there to help her is really still something that I struggle with.
On August 14th of 2023, heavy storms flooded the doggy daycare, trapping Mona and 9 other dogs inside their kennel in over 6 feet of water at District Dogs on Rhode Island Avenue. Crews were able to evacuate 6 employees and 20 dogs. 8 of the 10 families filed a lawsuit against District Dogs and its founder, Jacob Hensley. Jocelyn chose not to.
I just chose not to for my own personal situation, I guess.
To this day, she says there are many unanswered questions about the moments leading up to Mona's death and why there was no emergency plan in place, even though the business has flooded before.
The only thing that would really help me is just giving me a play-by-play over what happened, because we still don't know anything. So it's I think an apology doesn't really do the situation justice.
She's unhappy with the lack of response and accountability from the owner.
The owner just won't say anything. I haven't heard from him since last year. And he hasn't even reached out to say anything, even now.
Since the tragic incident, Jocelyn has been looking for ways to honor Mona. She regularly donates to local animal rescues.
Welcome home, Paloma.
And she recently adopted 2 dogs. Paloma, a rescue from a shelter in Virginia, and Mariposa, a 3-legged rescue who was on the verge of being euthanized.
It brings back those memories of Mona. So it's hard not having her around and being able to experience that with Mona, but I'm glad that her memory lives on.
Leslie Moreno, WUSA 9.
What a little cutie there, right? Within the last hour, District Dogs did release a statement to WUSA 9 saying in part, there are no words to convey our sorrow for the families still grieving from the loss of their dogs. We remain eternally grateful to our dedicated staff and loyal customers for their support in the immediate aftermath of the flood and throughout the past year. We are committed to healing these wounds and building deep and lasting ties with the communities we serve. Well, tomorrow on WUSA 9 News at 4, we will have an in-depth look at the changes made since the tragedy on Rhode Island Avenue. Everything from the investigation into the 911 response that day to infrastructure changes to deal with the increased threat of flooding.